What would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU is doing.
Is there something that NYU is doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're. Do you know what NYU is doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free.
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Or like, could people please have a glass of water?
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries, we want to take over this building, now would you please bring us food and water?
So let me get this straight. We're supposed to believe that this is the generation of revolutionaries. If you see my Facebook post, then I guess you know I say this quite often, but I thought this was parodied the first time I saw it. Left-wing protesters are out there admittedly not even knowing what they are protesting about. The left says they need to prevent Republicans from making The Handmaid's Tale a reality. That it's the Republicans that want to force women to dress a certain way, and cover up their hair a certain way, and force women to behave a certain way in order to serve men. But then, they turn around and cosplay what parts of Sharia law dictate. Here we can see young women covering up their hair and praying behind the men. And since this is UCLA, and not a college in Gaza, I think it's pretty safe to say that these are likely to be mostly white leftist women. Why, it's almost as if leftist women are okay with being handmaids as long as it's for their side. Now wait a second, I feel like I'm getting deja vu. I feel like I've seen this kind of performative posing from the left before recently. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, fine, so they can't organize and plan enough to keep themselves fed and hydrated for a few hours.
When my mom isn't there to cook the chicken for me, what am I supposed to do? Die? Like, I don't understand.
And sure, they might contradict themselves when they actually can tell you why they are even here in the first place.
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
But you know what? I feel like I'm being a little bad faith here. So let's take a look at what they can achieve once they put their revolutionary minds together. On May Day, we torched some PPB cars at their training facility. We cut through a fence, set 10 fires, and our happy agreed to burn 15 cars. We did it for the Haymarket martyrs. We did it for all the black and indigenous rebels murdered by slavers and settlers. Above all, we did it for the Palestinian martyrs. Our attack was preemptive. After seeing Humboldt, Columbia, UCLA, and more, we knew the occupation at PSU would be swept violently and wanted to attack PPB before. While we respect the student occupations, particularly the ones occupying buildings and causing damages to the college, we hate to see them passive and waiting to be attacked. Catch the police off guard. They do not believe you are free. Show them you are. Raid them before they raid you. For the students, we have the following messages. 1. No symbolic victories. Do not accept speeches and committee and apology emails. The 2 demands: divest, amnesty for all. 2. No negotiations. Do not give up ground until you see the money pulled out and the charges dropped and the suspensions cancelled. 3. Do not let them demobilize you. Do not let the parties, the student government, or the administration tell you it's over. It's not. Keep the threat of your return present, especially if the administration refuses to meet demands. 4. Fight. Defend your camps. If the frat bros come, smash their frat house windows. If the Zionist settlers come, throw fireworks at them. If the cops come, don't just resist arrest, fight them. They will hate you and beat you if you're peaceful or violent, and it is time to be violent. 5. Out of the quads, out of the buildings, into the streets. As the semester ends, this is not over. Fight during the summer. When next year starts, fight then too. We call for more actions to avenge Palestinians and the brutalized students at PSU and beyond. Let 10 million cop cars burn. Wow, that sounds like some pretty strong resolve there when it comes to destruction and domestic terrorism. It's too bad it doesn't mean shit when it comes to them actually being beneficial for society, let alone their own nourishment.
Dude, what am I supposed to do? Die? Like, I don't understand.
Instead, they just annoy everybody, including others on the left.
If you're offended by this, please, I'm trying to help you. I don't want Donald Trump to get elected, all right?
There you go.
Trying to help you. If you're too stupid to figure that out, you change to another channel. Because we're sorting through this as a country, and this is not helping.
I think these revolutionaries have utterly lost the plot and devolved into, well, something else we've seen before. In the past few years, we've seen the left go from "we punched Nazis" to forming human chains that prevent Jewish students from getting an education. That doesn't sound like any revolution I really want to be a part of. But that's just it. They aren't revolutionaries. They aren't activists. They're just empty and disconnected people that are wanting to feel like they're a part of something they think is bigger than themselves. Sure, there are probably a handful of people that can articulate their position and reasons for being out there.
Intifada! 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 Long live Intifada!
Oh, come on, now that's not fair. That's a group of people. That's a mob. That's an angry mob. Let's go to a person. Let's talk to an individual. Let's hear what they have to think.
You're just a white person. You're a white person. We don't like white people. Free Palestine!
Yikes. The revolutionaries are not very revolutionary. They seem more like devolutionaries. And so their degenerate ideologies emerge as faux activism. It becomes people literally becoming drones and going along with whatever the group is doing just for attention.
One step forward, another step forward.
When a bunch of idiots got together and waved around tiki torches from the Walmart Garden Center, we all heard them being called Nazis even to this day. The January 6 protesters, we're told those are the insurrectionist Nazis. People that believe there are only two genders, those are the transphobic Nazis that just enabled a trans genocide. You know, the non-existent one there's no evidence of. People that think the last election was probably not very secure, those are the election-denying conspiracy theory Nazis that just want their Nazi president to be a forever dictator. Your conservative MAGA hat wearing American flag waving boomer relatives? Yup, you guessed it. They're definitely Nazis too. But when left-wing protesters start simping for bloodthirsty, Jew-slaughtering Hamas terrorists, and start calling for the literal genocide of Jewish people using Nazi-like slogans, we're all supposed to pretend like people's beliefs are complicated and nuanced now? It just goes to show that the left never cared about Nazism or anti-Semitism unless they could use the buzzwords as political or social cudgels.
We have to understand the broad shift that has taken place at elite universities, which have gone from being centers of excellence to institutions pushing political agendas. America's top colleges are no longer seen as bastions of excellence, but partisan outfits, which means they will keep getting buffeted by these political storms as they emerge. They should abandon this long misadventure into politics, retrain their gaze on their core strengths, and rebuild their reputations as centers of research and learning.